14th at 3:30 at City Hall. Call to order and roll call?
Chairperson Hayes.
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Raza.
Here.
Commissioner Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Addy. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the first one?
Aaron.
Aaron. Okay,
I'm sorry,
there we go.
Aaron.
That's better. There you go.
Too many people have the same name that I recruited on this commission.
Commissioner Hayes.
Here.
Commissioner Pottenberg.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Will everyone join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Approval of the minutes from the July 8th, 2024 quarterly meeting. Did everyone get a chance to review them? Let's see here. Hold on.
Madam Chair, I move to accept the minutes as written.
All right. So you're making a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Okay. Anyone want to debate the motion? Okay, vote on the motion. Aye.
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 Any opposed?
The motion passed.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, still getting used to all these. It's okay. Okay, consideration of public comments.
Okay, Jen, nobody signed up for any comments, and we have no public president.
Okay. All right, so then we're gonna move on to new business, amended bus stop safety. Discuss regarding bus stop safety due to transients at the stops. Kelly, do you want to talk about this since you?
Yeah, I
asked
brought
if
this up to Sherry to put this on the agenda because I've had a couple of local residents that have reached out to me in regards to, they went to use a couple of the stops and there's been a lot of transients kind of camped out there.
Kelly, I'm sorry to interrupt. Could you speak into your
Yes, I'm sorry. There's just been some concern about, she said she felt very unsafe. And I said, well, that's the last thing that we want. We want everybody to feel 100% safe when they're using CART or any services, you know. I guess I would like to see us maybe discuss it a little bit and see if there's something we can do to address this issue in a professional way. Because I know that, you know, times are tough for everybody, but I want to make sure that people feel safe and I want our spots clean and, you know, and all that. So that's the biggest thing. And I know Sherry wanted to talk about it too, so.
Thank you. So yes, I did reach out to our city attorney, Carl Cooper, and he'll actually be speaking on the camping portion of that at tomorrow's council meeting. We're limited at what we can really do because trespassing, we can't prevent anybody from loitering in a public area. That's considered unconstitutional. So we're limited at what we can do. But I also did reach out to our program manager with ADOT to ask her to look further into what can and can't be done. I met at the last WACOG meeting that was held on Thursday. It was brought up there. Excuse me, I mentioned it. And our program manager mentioned that there are several places that are dealing with the same situation. So she's going to look into it. She's going to reach out to FTA and see what our rights are and what they're not.
Yeah, I think if maybe we could get everybody on the same page to work together and solve it in a, professional way, that's my biggest thing is I don't want anything that's not professional, I guess I should say. So, yeah, I appreciate you talking to them and
Thank you,
seeing if
yeah.
we can all work together and come up with a common solution for the problem.
Right, yeah, professional and
Right,
legal, absolutely.
Right, and
So-
I want everybody to feel safe and use the services if they, and
No, I agree. It is something that we've been struggling with for quite some time. As far as the cleanliness at the bus stops, we do have a couple of our drivers that they'll go out and make sure that everything gets cleaned up and looking nicer. But if you should see a stop that requires attention, please certainly let us know.
absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Right. Anyone else want to add on to the bus stop safety? Okay. So reports, public transit superintendent report. Sure.
Thank you. So included in your packet is the ridership and financial reports. Nothing major, no major changes to note, but the percentages per the route have remained pretty consistent based on our busiest routes and those that aren't quite as busy. One thing I would say that the blue route did see a 19% increase in ridership in the first quarter of fiscal year '25 as compared to the first quarter of fiscal year '24. So that's been becoming more popular, where that's been one of our least ridden routes. So many more people are using it. Our curb-to-curb deviations, those have increased by approximately 9%. We have a lot of new clients who are using our service. Our service is curb-to-curb, so I'm always looking at other options for passengers for our clients who might need some more specialized or personal assistance. Our service has been operating smoothly, and our staff levels are where they need to be. Phoenix Truck Driving School, which partners with MCC, they recently purchased advertising space inside the buses, so we've got some posters in there. And that brought in $1,350 in advertising revenue. And I've also been in contact with the local tax service company. They're interested in purchasing ad space on the bus's interior as well as the exterior. So we're working with them to see exactly how much they would like to place on the bus. So that'll bring in some additional revenue. And aside from that, there's not much more to report. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
So I was looking at the 2023-24, we had 48,157 service miles, and then we're up to 50,587. Do we add some more?
That's just based on,
Driving.
we haven't changed anything. That's just depending on how the days fall in, how many deviations we might have, so that'll vary. But no, we haven't increased or reduced service in any way. And that the additional service miles is likely contributed to the additional curb-to-curb deviations that we make.
When you say curb to curb, you're talking pull up curb, they literally, the driver doesn't get out to help at all, it's just, is that how your curb to curb is?
Yes,
Okay,
that's how
okay.
our curb-to-curb
Yeah.
works.
Yep.
Does anyone have any other additional questions regarding the public transit superintendent report? the WACOG Regional Transit implementation plan update.
Okay, so, thank you. Yes, the WACOG Regional Transit Implementation Plan, it was completed, and it is included in your packet. It does say draft, but I believe that is their final report. Kittleson and Sons completed, Kittleson completed the study and presented its findings to the Tri-City Council at its July meeting. Some of their recommendations included a new route from Bullhead City to Fort Mojave, and then eventually extending that route to Golden Shores. Also a new route from Kingman to Golden Valley, and then eventually later adding a connection from Bullhead City to Golden Valley. They also recommended van pulls between Lake Havasu City and Kingman, and between Lake Havasu City and Bullhead. Those who attended the meeting seemed to agree that Mojave County would need to be a major participant in order to make any of those connections a reality. And that meeting, it was recorded and it's available to watch on YouTube if you're interested.
Does anyone have any questions about it? WACOG report, plan update?
I don't have any questions, but it did look like it was going to open up avenues of transportation in the immediate, but also looking ahead to the future for, especially Golden Valley, in some isolated places. It looks like it's really going to open up for other people.
That's a possibility. So what they did is they did the study to identify gaps in transportation, and there's definitely a gap for us, between Golden Valley and Kingman. So where that comes from, though, is it's difficult to find the funding for that because it's outside of the city limits. So that's one of the concerns. So this is what they're recommending, and they hope to implement, and that's what they're recommending to the Tri-City Council.
We don't serve the airport at all, right? The businesses out there?
No, not at this time. So we have been looking at options to provide that transportation. And that was on our last meeting that was tabled to a later date when Mojave Community College opens their training facility there.
And this is getting presented to the city council tomorrow night.
This is not. That'll be
That-
the next item on the
that-
agenda.
Okay.
Now, this was presented to the Tri-City Council, so members of the council did see the presentation in July during their meeting.
Do you want me to move on?
Were there any other questions?
All right. The Transit Center Site Selection and Environmental Analyst Update.
Okay, thank you. So, so CivTech is the engineering firm hired to complete that study for us. And they've completed the transit center site selection study, and they will be, and they're preparing its final report. They evaluated 3 locations, the Mojave County property adjacent to Walmart, where the senior center and Sarah's house are, the private lot across the street from Walmart on Airway, and the Mojave County property on Burbank between the library and the animal shelter. So during the long and short range transit plan, there were 7 or 8 sites that were looked at. 3 were selected to move on for further evaluation. Those are the 3 that they've evaluated, and they have identified a preferred site. Though they will be presenting to council at their meeting tomorrow. So if you have any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer. They will be giving a full presentation to council on their findings.
All right. Announcements by commission members. William, do you want to introduce yourself, since you're the newest one on?
My name is William Pottenberg. I work for Kingman Unified School District. My title is Post-Secondary Transition and Community Engagement Coordinator. I've been with the district for about 12 years in a variety of roles, primarily in the special education world. Jen asked me about being involved with the Transit Advisory Committee. I thought it was a unique opportunity to be involved with the community and the council, and hopefully I bring some sort of perspective from the school district, and that's beneficial or something that could help our school district one way, shape, or form. That's that.
Thank you.
Thank you, William. We appreciate your participation.
Does anyone else have any announcements by commission member? Requests for future agenda items and updates.
So this would be the time if you'd like to request any items be placed on the agenda for January. You can bring those to us now, and we can make sure that we get those placed on the agenda. Also, if there's something, you can reach out to me at any time to add something onto the agenda. So if there's something that you determine that you see that you'd like to add, but maybe you're not thinking about it at the moment, don't hesitate to reach out, and we can take care of that.
Do we want to bring back about the industrial park, the business park?
Well, certainly we want to bring it back at a point, at the last meeting.
Yeah.
It was decided, requested to table that
Yeah,
until
well,
MCC was in place.
Yep.
Yeah, and the other issue I think we still need to look at is the possibility of surveying out there at the industrial park to see how many of those folks out there would be willing to partner and or tell us about how many of their own employees could benefit from cart service. So that, if that could dovetail with possibly our opening out there at the industrial park, which is still slated to be towards the end of this year, early 2025, or fall 2025, I'm sorry, fall semester of 2025, it'd probably go well.
Yeah, we can certainly place that on the January agenda to revisit that and see where we stand.
Okay, that sounds good.
Do we ever work with, like, say, Bullhead, having Bullhead coming into Golden Valley, Kingman going in Golden Valley, so people that want to go from Kingman to Bullhead? I know I used to drive transit bus in Vermont for communities similar to Kingman, and we worked with the other bus companies, so we transport people halfway. They bring people halfway, people get off our buses, continue on to where they came from, and then, you know, it wasn't like an hourly thing. We only did it, you know, fairly early in the morning, and then sometime around the noontime area, and then later in the day. But we worked with the other And I don't know if you work at all with the Bullhead Transit or not, or Laughlin's, or I don't know. But
Yeah, we certainly speak with each other, but that's the item that they were studying in 4B in the Waycott Regional Transit Implementation Plan. So that's what they were studying, were those connections.
Without really knowing everything I would need to kind of present it, and also still needing to talk to some of the powers that be with the school district, what would entail discussing an agenda item that would be about developing cart services between the two high schools in order to provide access to the career and technical education programs that are different at both high schools? I would like to have that discussion, but I also don't know what I would need to then present it and have that happen. So I'd like to put it on there in January and put my ducks in a row between now and then if it's possible, if it's something that we would be willing to consider.
We can certainly discuss that in January.
Is there any other agenda items or updates for future meetings? Okay. All right. Adjourn? You want me to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
And the meeting's adjourned at 3:52.
Thank you.
Thank you.